Yo, it's time. It is time. Let's get some beats. Can I get backed up? Maybe down a bit. Maybe down just a touch. Right? Just a touch. Got Nagash and the points in the husbando. I opened it up. I got it. I'm marked safe. So we know the points. Let's open up Nagash as well, shall we? And let's open the Fabled. This show, the Fabled live doc. All right, 107,000 words. New page. OBR. Where can get a copy of the leaks? My Discord in Giga News and Leaks channel. Let me type it here. These leaks, by the way, brought to us by our sponsor for this evening, Ghetto McMuffin. Robot is dead at this moment. Sorry. Can I bring him back to life? Let me quickly try to resurrect him. Cloudbot. Can you be turned on? Alright. Cloudbot likes to just shut themselves off for some reason. Not sure why. Let's try. Ew, but it's just Streamlabs. It's not Husband on Thundertusk. But okay, I guess when you just turn them on, then that's what happens. All right. Minus 10k points. Good one, Obi-Wats. Oh, very useful use of those points. It's OBR time. Let's do it. Battle traits. Oh, that doesn't help, I guess. Let's do this. Enhance. You got 6 legions. Hopium, OBR, let's go. Alright, Pranks of the Unbroken by Descent. Do not take battle shock tests for friendly Ozark Bone Reaver units. Wait, hold on. Pre-look notes. What are my notes for this book? What are my hopes and dreams as a non-OBR player? What are my hopes and dreams? You know next to nothing about OBR, so you have to learn. They should work with the rules of the game instead of not. RDP. Carnia, thanks for the tier 1 for 25 months. About a 20-month streak. It didn't say the streak. What happened? Did you get sniped? No, wait. You can uncheck the say what the streak is thing. So you might have done that. Anyway, thanks for the 25 months. Huge dude. And thanks for the tier 1. Appreciation TY. I want all the troops to be good. Anybody have any specific? I don't have a lot of opinions about OBR. They're kind of an empty canvas to me. I'm waiting to see what they do because they kind of gotta redo the whole shebang. Oh yeah. The guy should be like a god, you know? Jacoby, thanks for the big primer for 16 months. Big bones, true. Thanks to the prime. Catacross. More like Catagross. Like he's categorically good. Hopefully multiple ways to play the army, some sub-faction balance, maybe more than 1 or 2 heroes is good, elites and more tech spam, both being viable options. There. Chatagros. Alright, yeah, I want all the troops to be good. And, you know, the whole, you can play multiple different lists in the army and it's like good and stuff. It'd be nice if the artillery was good. I'm really just interested to see how they reimagine the rules here. Because I think that's what's in order. That's what needs to happen. Because they need kind of a reimagining. Foot heroes playable, please? That's never true. I can tell you right now they won't be. But maybe the foot heroes will like have buffs and stuff. In which case they will be playable. But not like for fighting. Games Workshop has been very consistent on this one. Age of Sigmar is really top to bottom and it's never changed. Age of Sigmar is a game where your foot heroes cannot fight. They do not want that to happen. They simply don't want foot heroes to ever be able to fight. It's not, it must be part of their basic philosophy for the game itself, right? The whole game. They're like, look, this is Age of Sigmar. We're going to try to make a war game where the randomness of war is sort of encapsulated in the turn sequence, right? That seems to be a very foundational principle for them. Is turn sequence is random but a little bit controllable and you can play around it to mimic the randomness of war. And also foot heroes are not fighting. Foot heroes are not impressive. Or they're not for fighting. It's just not what this game's about. They fight well and pretend 500 to 1k points values. Right, but that's a, you know... Do they, though? Hold on, do they? Not at 1,000, probably not. You know, at 1,000, my army list is like Frostlet on Stonehorn and some Mournfang. Does a foot hero fight good against that? No. Maybe in 500 point games. Maybe in... Alright. In 210 point games. Foot hero is great at fighting. Anyway, yeah. I want all the troops to be good. The guy should be like a god, right? Catacross more like Chatagros. Really just interested to see what's going on. Foot heroes playable. Somebody wants from chat. 1k games, Tyrant with Fateseeker Death Cheater as a Chad. Yeah, that's right. Constant Screaming, that's true. He's very hard to kill in 1k. He's hard to kill in 2k because nobody wants to expend the resources required to do that. He's a goddamn anvil is what he is. Battle traits. Battle shock tests shall not be taken because this is Age of Sigmar, but you also don't take them anyway due to this rule, which is cool. If anyone gets something like this, I'm fine with OBR having it. Most people kind of have this, except for chip stuff here and there. Deathless Warriors. Friendly Ozark Bone Reaper units have a ward of 6 up. Sure. That's one of the things the entire GA of Death got. They're like, what should the Grand Alliance of Death have? 6 up wards on everybody. Okay. Yeah, no more hero stuff or unit champ where you have to be wholly within whatever of a necromancer. Let's just have that. Let's just do it, right? Let's just do it. Roni, thanks for the follow. Netherite weapons. The unmodified hit roll for an attack made with melee weapon 6. 2 hits instead of 1. Exploding hits. Well. Exploding 6 is melee only. Not particularly unique or special or ingenious or anything. A lot of people do that. But you get to do it too. Exploding hits is really good if you got 2 and 3 damage weapons. If you got 1 damage weapons, it's kind of like, you know. Okay. Army-wide Splodies. Nothing wrong with it. Yeah, Netherite weapons is just what it's called, right? As far as I can see. This is just flavor. Or if you're in EU, Flavor, right? Just everybody gets explodies. As long as you have the Ozark Bone Reaper's keyword. That's the only requirement. So, Catacross explodes. Doesn't matter if you have the Netherite weapon or not. Oh, dude, does this mean that you give the unit champion the special weapon now? Instead of me having to tell everybody when they're making the army, make sure not to give the special weapon to the guy even though you think you should. Because, you know, Netherite actually makes his basic one. I forgot about that. That was an omission up here. I forgot about this. Yeah, army-wide exploding hit, all OBR keyword, period. Not for Netherite weapons. Netherite weapons is just the name of the ability. The only requirements down here in the actual rules section is OBR keyword. So, good. That fixes one of the things I forgot to put in the list up there. Not bad. Dude. Any skeleton lawnmower players with some multi-damage weapons? Any Catacross getting double hits and stuff? Very interesting. Relentless Discipline. Here it is, RDP. And keep in mind, I haven't read any of this yet. Yeah, Nagash has natty weapons as well. Natty Light. If you command an OBR army, when you receive your starting command points, you receive extra command points as follows. These command points are cumulative. Cumulative? Okay, so RDP basically gone. It's CAs now. That might not be true. Let's read. 1 extra command point if there are 3 or more friendly OBR units on the battlefield. Oh. So just how many units you have on the battlefield. That's it. Oh no, wait, each of these is cumulative. So actually, it really is like this. 1 point if you have 3 or more, 2 more, 3 total, if 5 or more, and 3 more, if 7 or more. So you get a shitload of command points. When you receive your starting command points. Is that each turn? Yeah, you get 6 more if you have 7 or more units, because it says these are cumulative, so it's 1, and then 2 more, and then 3 more. This is the start of the game? False. There is no start of the game. The game doesn't start. Yeah, and the way we can prove this is there's no beginning of the game starting command points. There's like there isn't a special thing for beginning of the game starting command points. In 3rd edition, the only sentence starting command points ever happens in is the beginning of battle rounds. So it is in previous editions there was such a thing as the starting command points of the game. But in 3rd, it's just the only time you ever receive them is at the beginning of battle rounds. This is better because you don't roll for them. Right? This is good, isn't it? It is kind of giving up though, right? It's like they had this ingenious problem to solve where they could get really creative and impressive with rules. And they're like, that's too hard. You just have command abilities. Fuck it. It's way too hard to solve that rules problem. We got 20 minutes to do this before lunch. We got to work on the next book. You guys just have command abilities now. You just get a shitload of them. Fuck it. So I'm a little disappointed to see that. But look, you have 1 million commands. So what's the difference? Maybe 3rd edition just stole their thunder. And they're like, look, now your thing is that you have 1 million command abilities. It's still special. All right. You get 1 million special commands. Let's go through them. It's actually cool. You can use OZR commands in addition to any other command abilities you can use. You can re-roll charges now in OBR. Because you can use normal commands. Hell yeah, brother. OPR, yeah. In addition, the restriction that you cannot use the same command more than once in the same phase does not apply. Redeploy, 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 redeploy. Limit breaker. I don't even think this is not even a fun detected. This is proper. Yeah, limit breaker. Can use same command multiple times per phase, just like the olden days. Big, but only for OBR CAs. No entire army redeploy every turn, right? Can't do that. And the other limit of the same unit cannot benefit more than, like, can't issue or receive more than once. That's still in place. Germ Minis, think to the tier 1 for 24 months. It's almost 2 years. And you're back. What'd you miss? Don't worry about it. You just missed a bunch of Diablo 2. Ahem. Damn, look at all these. I like it. Retreat and charge? Hell yeah. And the fact that this happens in the move phase means you can still reroll the charge roll. This is big. Retreat and charge. Yeah, this means they can rally. Unstoppable advance. Add 3 to the move characteristic. That's big. Yes, yes, yes. Reknit. Reknit construct. You can use the command ability at the end of your movement phase. Okay. Unit that receives command must be a friendly OBR unit that has more than, that's not in combat. You can heal D3. Oh, so you can reknit and you can rally. So you can rally hero phase, reknit movement phase. And you can reknit them like just a little, like one base farther than your movement because it's at the end of the movement. Because you're harvesting bones. Place the base in front for extra Cheeto movement. Doesn't work in combat. Yo, so hero phase rally, movement phase, return some guys, which might net you almost a similar amount of move, a little, well, not quite, but like it nets you a little bit of movement, right? this is kind of cool. Counter-Strike. Oh shit. What patch? Use command ability in the enemy charge phase. I don't know what else this rule does, but reading enemy charge phase, I already like it. I already think it's good. After an enemy unit has finished a charge move. Unit receives must be a friendly OBR that is within 3 of an enemy unit that made the charge in the same turn and is more than 3 from all other enemy units. Okay. So, enemy charge phase. After a unit finished a charge and you're in combat with that unit and no others. Okay, I think we've gotten all the stipulations out of the way. Add 1 to wound rolls in the following combat phase. Ooh, okay, we're doubling up on combat ones by just changing which phase we're using it in. Melee only, probably. I don't know why it wouldn't be. +1 to wound rolls, melee, next combat phase, enemy charge phase, after unit finish charge, if you're in combat with that unit and no others. Alright. Can you receive more than 1? No. The special limit breaker is only on the number of times you can use the same one. I should probably just write that. Limit 1 issue received per unit per phase, still in effect. The only limit breaker you can do is you're like, heal D3, heal D3, heal D3, heal D3, heal D3. Right? You can do that, but on the same unit, you can still just do 1 per phase. No giga combos, it's just everybody gets a special thing they can always be doing. And let's see, how many... You're probably... I feel like you're probably chilling in this zone when it matters, unless it's really early game. Like 7 or more probably right away. But in the really crunchy turns, turn 3 and stuff, you might be on this one. So if you go second in the battle round, you're on like 6 command abilities. Plus maybe the heroic action one. I don't know what else is happening in the army, but it feels like you might have 6 of them. Or you can expect 6 of them. And if things are really good, you can expect possibly 9 of them if you have a bunch of units. Good thing all the units can issue commands to themselves. Yeah, that's another thing that 3rd edition stole from OBR. Is it every turn or once at the start? Neither. It's every battle round, not every turn. So at the beginning of each battle round, when you get your starting command points. So you're fucking Donald Duck high diving into command points the whole game. Add 1 to ward rolls for the purposes of the Deathless Warrior's battle trait, but not other wards. So if one of your guys has a 3-up ward, it doesn't make it a 2-up, it only affects Deathless Warriors. So it turns the 6 that you get normally into a 5. And before I blow 9 CP before your first turn combat phase in the first 5 games, tactical genius. When you are targeted by, quote, an attack, +1 Deathless Warriors ward rolls. So 5 up. Special note, it does not work on abilities, which almost always do mortal wounds, so actually get fucked. If I blood vulture you, you can't do this, because it's not an attack. It's an ability. This is something that every OBR player is going to be confronted with the first time they play it. They're going to be like, you know, ooh, I'll cast a spell. I'll cast a spell on you for d6 mortal wounds. I'm going to use the Deathless Warriors thing. Nope, not an attack. Spells aren't attacks. Abilities aren't attacks. Attacks are attacks. Does the +1 to wound turn off if the unit gets charged by a new unit? No. The unit that receives the command must be a friendly OBR that is within 3 of an enemy unit. This is talking about the moment that it receives it. It's like, can you receive it? Yes, no. And when you get charged with the first guy, you may receive it, and then you do, and you just get that bonus. Whatever happens later, you don't have to maintain it. Doesn't matter. It's asking a question to let you in the house. They knocked on the door. They're like, sir, I have paper. Can you receive these commands? Yes, I can. Thank you. And then somebody else comes to the door. You already got them. They don't take them away. Yeah, trampling charge still works. Monstrous actions, you know, stomp still works. Spells still work. I'm kind of sad about impenetrable ranks. I was hoping that it would just be like in response to an ability or something, or, you know. But it looks like it's fairly limited, impenetrable ranks. I mean, it's still good. A 5-up ward is awesome. But you are going to get tripped up by what an attack means. Do they just get a 6-up ward against them? Yep, you get your standard 6-up. But you can't improve it versus those, that's all. Bludgeon. Start of the combat phase. Timings matter, right? Improve rend by 1. Yes. +1 rend. Dude, +1 rend with limit breaker. +1 rend, baby. And it's start of combat. It's no, they fixed the loophole. Bludgeoning weapons do typically pierce armor pretty well. Well, they don't pierce it pretty well, but they are pretty good against armor, right? Like, what's better against armor? Like a full plate, a long sword, or like a sledgehammer? Actually, a sledgehammer. You're gonna batter the guy around with it. Whereas a slashing weapon is just kind of, yeah, you got to ring that bell. Literally true. Now you might want to, you know, I don't know, like a pipe, what is it? I can't remember what it's called. What's that pick weapon? The name's escaping me. It looks like a warhammer, but actually it's just like got some vicious spike on it. It's kind of curved a little bit. What is it called? Well, a lucerne is like a polearm weapon that's got a hammer part and then the pick part. Yeah, I guess war pick perhaps. But for me, lucerne hammers amongst polearms, that's my favorite. Everybody's got their favorite polearm in the Heywoah chat. For me, it's lucerne hammers. I like the smash and I like the can open. Oh, you like the bovine bardishi? Halberd gang? Halberds are fine. Man catchers? Any guisarmes? Poleaxe? Okay. Any bec de corbins? I don't know of a halberd I don't think is cool, so we got some good answers in chat. You like the gun one? Pikes? more of a spear, but it counts. I'll count it. Pike fan. All right. For those saying that I made these up. All right, this is back to Corbin. All right. I don't know how to pronounce this. Gizarm, I guess. Just, you know, gotta check the tapes every once in a while, alright? I mean, I didn't say it right when I was memeing with Guizarm, but it is Gizarm, yeah. Gore hack a game, rise up. Anyway, we were happy about Bludgeon. Yeah, +1 Ren, baby. They fixed the thing, too, where it used to say during the combat phase. You could use it at any time. And a million years ago, this worked by the rules. You would do your attacks, and the opponent would roll their saves. But before they determined whether the saves succeeded or failed, you would look at the dice and be like, okay. Opponent rolled a bunch of 4s. So I'm going to now, at this moment, after they've rolled, but before we've determined whether they're correct, I'm going to use the +1 rend, and all those 4s fail. And that worked. It seems like you can only use it at the start of combat now, so they fixed the loophole. I really liked that, how it worked before, but I understand if that's a little too Magic the Gathering for people, yeah. If you don't clearly define when you can use stuff, yeah, you got split second, you get that Crosan grip coming in there on the rend. Yeah, you got Crosan grip, but then again, you can still, you know, counterbalance that, right? Just keep a 3, just float a 3 on top. You'd concede if your opponent did that. I thought it was cool. My opponent did that to me right when the book came out, and I'm like, that's cool. I think that's sweet. And then I used my 14-inch move to just stay out of his threat range for the entire game and won by like 18 points. Hey, all's fair in love and war, right? Anyway, unflinching coordination. You can use command ability of the combat phase in the combat phase. After OBR hero has fallen. Okay. Also, this one, by the way, doesn't work. Remember how I just said that? You might think after I just said that, well, gee, this says in the combat phase. So can I interrupt someone's attack sequence by like fighting with this hero? You know, could I do that? That would be a legitimate actually guy question. If you ignore this word right here, after. And according to the FAQ, quote, the word after in Age of Sigmar rules is synonymous with immediately after. And so the answer to that question is no, you can't use it just whenever in the combat phase to interrupt something, because after means immediately after, so you have to use it right after the hero does. Damn, we're getting some rules that say what they mean here, eventually. Note, for the designer's note, I just read this right now, if the unit picked to fight immediately is an OZRX Bone Reaper hero after the unit is fought, you can then use his command to pick another friendly OBR to fight immediately. because immediately means immediately. For one's actual water type. After the... Oh, this is just the... It pulls them in. Okay. After the hero has fought... Yeah, it's just the bodyguard thing. What's the likelihood of a stack-like construct in the AOS 4 rules, or still just combos of before and after? I feel like a table would be a good halfway point, right? Like, just make one of those little tables, you know? A picture. And be like, beginning of, during, end of. And then explain what after means. And, you know, that's fine. As long as you are fastidious about making sure you don't just have during floating around out there in the abilities that you write that would cause a problem. So like, that's fine as long as you make sure you write all the abilities so that they don't fuck with that. Or you could make the core rule really long so that the abilities don't have to worry about that, and you future-proof a little bit and you make them short. The rules got to be long somewhere. Otherwise, they don't really actually explain what goes on. And if you try to figure it out, you just have to guess, or you have to be a pretend game designer and just, ooh, it came to me in a dream. I know what GW intends for this rule that just wasn't written right, you know? The rules got to be long somewhere. Either it's long in the core rules or it's long on a war scroll. You kind of got to pick one. Or you're going to have rules that are incomplete, vague, and cause a million questions to which there are no answers. So, you know, some people like long rules in the core rules because you don't really read the core rules except for just once, and then you go back to it to reference. I think that's probably the best way. And then you keep it short on all the war scrolls and stuff because that's what you use to play with. And if a rules question arises, then you're like, well, let's open the core book and read it. I think that's, to me, that's the best way, but, you know. And some people like them really long on the war scrolls and really short in the rules. And then some people like them short and just awful. But they have this platonic ideal in their head that short equals good somehow. Even though it doesn't. And I don't understand these people, but I guess we just have different brains. Mortal Kombat 29, thanks to the tier 1 for 3 months. If we make a table, then we have to make chairs. Yeah, Devon. Anyway, Mortal Wombat, thanks for the tier 1, I appreciate it. That's what 4th needs besides keywords. You know, they do have keywords in 3rd. They did a lot of keyword stuff in 3rd. And some of the rabble, people complain about that for some reason, which blows my mind. But it was a good thing, and I hope they continue the trend. Yeah, I'm something of a so-so pro myself. Anyway, these are the shit. Special commands. So you get 1,000,000 command points. You have a limit breaker, which is fun. It's not, you're not actually playing 1st edition. Don't go crazy, but... and then you get a bunch of fun command abilities that only you can use. +1 rend, hell yeah. This one's like kind of okay. This one stacks with rally. +3 move is great. Retreat and charge is great. The pull your nearby buddies in, like, I don't care. This one is situationally good, right? Just because it doesn't work on abilities and spells. People attack all the time in this game. A 5-up ward versus attacks. Now you do have to use it instead of all-out defense, but I'll take a 5-up ward over +1 armor probably any day. Kind of depends. wizard has the wizard keyword. Yeah, that rule is necessary. That is a necessary and proper definition of what a keyword is. You have to say what the keyword is and then say what it applies to. You have to define your terms. You know, rules are a contract or a computer program. You got to define your terms. You got to set your values, right? I got to fucking ultimate actually guy somebody on my I don't know if I talked about it. I probably did on that YouTube video. I got to ultimate like neutron star actually guy somebody who's like, a wizard is a dumb rule. That's a bad sentence. You don't need to say that. You know, there are games with way better rules like Magic the Gathering, and they don't say that. And I'm like, just guess what? I went to the Magic Comprehensive Rules. I searched for sentences like that. I found every single one. Just as a example, I looked for snow permanent, and it said, cards with the snow super type are snow permanents. Fucking got him, taking my shot. It sounds silly. I admit it's a silly sounding sentence, but you do need to say it. Fucking Vine Boom. I'm so happy I got this Vine Boom anyway. And then everyone clapped. You know, everyone stood up and clapped in the class, right? One of those stories. We got to sub-factions, but let's just talk about these battle tactics for a second. Battle Shock test shall not be taken. Cool. Flavorful. 6-up ward for everybody. This is like a quality of life thing, just everybody. Exploding Sixes works on all OBR. Great. And then RDP. It's sad that you lost your special rules, but you didn't really lose your special RDP rules, actually. In fact, you still have a limit breaker. This is just better. Right? You essentially get to use all the commands everybody else does. But also you have special ones, and the special ones have a limit breaker, and you get a fucking million of them. And many of these are good. Your battle traits are sick. Good. I'm giving them the good. Your battle traits are good. Does this help retain their faction identity? I think so, yeah. Because they're the most tactical genius on the battlefield in the game. That's like one of their core identities is that they're ancient warriors, a gestalt, right? And they're like troop soldiers that are just masters of tactical combat. And so you get a million command abilities, you get a million special command abilities, and you've broken the limit that everybody else is limited by, and you can use your ones a million times. So actually, yeah. Are War Scroll CAs considered OZ Bone Reaper CAs? Yes. So if they have any on their War Scroll, and I imagine they will, you get that shit too. I think this is a best of both worlds kind of thing. I think this is just good. I was a little sad that it looked like they were going to get rid of it, but actually, they didn't get rid of it. They just took what you have now and let you use every CA in the game also. It's just a straight buff. Overall, I'm pleased. So far, so good. We got a lot of the book to go through yet. So far, so good. Sub-factions. And it wasn't OBR's fault that 3rd edition stole all their special rules. Unit champs can use them. That's it. Unit champs can use them. No, I'm kidding. Maybe it's because you don't play Commander or with older cards often, but the meme about layers and MTG being so complicated it's literally never come up in a single game you played. It's a very rare occurrence. But when it does, there is an answer. You just gotta look it up. It's arguably intuitive, maybe, if you truly understand it, but it's one of their least intuitive rules in that you just gotta read what it says, and you're like, well, I guess it does that. Who knows? Who knows what applies first? If it's time-stamped, that's kind of intuitive, right? Because, oh, the most recent one applies. That makes sense. But that's not the case for all the layers. Is this a characteristic defining ability? I used to know layers. I just don't anymore. Haven't played competitively in a while. Mortis Praetorians. First among their kind, the Mortis Praetorians are the legion of Orpheon Catacros himself. Oh, I didn't know his first name. Is this a first name reveal, or did I just not get it last time? Orphan Catacros. So named because he has created so many orphans across the mortal realms. Or maybe it's because he uses child soldiers like Big Boss. Is he the Big Boss of Age of Sigmar? Do they come from Zanzibar land? I just didn't know his first name, Frank on the Rocks. Alright, I guess it's not a reveal. It's a reveal to me. Orpheon, Big Boss, Catacros, Mortarch of the Zanzibar populace. The Dad Legion. Once per turn during enemy charge, after enemy unit finishes a charge, you can pick one within 12, more than 3 from all enemy units that unit can attempt to charge. Ooh. Oh, okay. Oh no, I hit like Control W or something like that. Fuck. Hold on. Reopening live dock. I don't know what Alt W does, but here we go. Alright. Mortal Praetorian. If you got 2 units, one behind the other, one near the other, this fucks me up because my charge phase is really important. Can this be spammed? No, it's once per turn. See, once per turn. So once per turn you can do this. Yeah, this is big. Even if you don't have impact hits in your army, you can like totally ruin the positioning of your opponent. Cool. Your opponent, this is kind of like redeploy. Your opponent is going to have to think very hard about, or Unleash Hell maybe, or something like that, where they're going to have to think really hard about which one they charge with first. Not a CA. It's free. It's just free. That's good. That's good. Ryan Goodman, first-time chatter, had to verify your email, so a little late to the point, but as long as you don't play against Humility or Blood Moon, you're probably fine without knowing layers in MTG. Yeah, for the most part, it's Blood Moon and Humility. It's been like 6 years since you've played, though. Yeah. It's stuff like, if you're playing against cards that say, like, such and such loses all abilities, but then, you know, maybe you equip something to it, or all creatures lose all abilities, and then you like make a man land out of something. You know, it's really corner case stuff, and for the most part, you're not gonna play against it. And if you do, you probably just have to look it up. So I agree. It's free. Redeploy to pull enemy close to huge countercharge unit. Redeploy so that you're wholly within, so that you can do this. Did you just say manland? Yeah, it's an old term for lands that you can pay mana and then they become creatures temporarily. You call them manlands. Because it's a land. Turns into a man. Alright, Praetorian's good. Petrifex Elite. Petra tax. Subtract 1 from the damage inflicted by each successful attack. Target's friendly. Oh no, I hate it. I hate it. Oof. That hurts. This is pain. I was hoping we wouldn't get... I was hoping they would just not do that in Seraphon. Never do that again. Scaly Skin is back. Petrifex Elite Hekatos. Or Garthazar Harvester. Wait, Hekatos? Or wait, maybe this isn't... Nothing is fucked. Hold up. It's not army-wide. It's not army-wide. Head blocking rules bold. Pardon me. I'm gonna need to cross-reference what Hekatos are. It's Stalkers, IG, and more. Oh, so it's the bigs. Okay. The big boys. Hekatos are unit leaders and harbingers, stalkers, and mortis. More reason to play the bigs if they're good. Unit leaders. So the unit leader model. So you like put damage on him. And it's -1 damage. I don't know. We need to cross-reference this. It's a keyword, so I'll look it up. That's the beauty of keywords. I just look to see what has the keyword and it's got it. Stallions. You can reroll charge rolls for stallions. Oh, just free reroll charges forever? Okay. Equimortoi. Equimortoi. The EQUU is like a bizarre... I mean, it's like equestrian, right? Equestrian is horse-like creatures or some such. Yeah, very broken Latin for dead horse. Can you double up on the U's in Latin? I guess so. Yeah, mounted guys reroll charges for free always. Underrated. Free reroll charges right on something's war scroll is so nice. It's just nice. And it frees up your CAs to do something else. It's good. Ivory Host. Simmering Rage. Add 1 to the number of hits scored by the Nadirite weapons battle trade by friendly Ivory Host units if the unmodified hit roll was 6 and any wounds or mortal wounds were allocated to that unit earlier in the turn. So I really like this until I kept reading. They had me in the first half, I'm not going to lie. Any wounds or mortal wounds are allocated to that unit earlier in the turn. So as long as you have like some shooting or some chip damage somewhere that's like really likely to work, you get triple exploding hitties. On the opponent's turn, it's probably not ever going to do anything. Even if you don't have any of that, the second unit you activate to fight after the first unit you activate to fight probably gets this. This one is tricky. Designer's note, no fun allowed, no combos are allowed. It only works on a 6. Even if you have Empower Nadirite. So you, not them. Add 1 to the number of hits scored by the Nadirite weapons by friendly Ivory Host units if the unmodified hit roll was 6. And any wounds or mortal wounds were allocated to that unit earlier in the turn. No, I think it's talking about you. Usually when they talk about you, they use the word this. Like this unit. If they're talking about you. But that's on War Scrolls. This isn't on War Scrolls. And there was no enemy unit talk to us. So I think it's if you get hit. As I read it. If you have been hit. Oh, so then all the... Alright. So you have no control over this then. I thought you had control over this. Now it's just like if somebody attacks you or something. I like this a whole lot less now. It is now called the Angori Host. I have to read this like 5 times. Alright, it also allocated but not... It doesn't say like not negated, so you can have passed your wards and it still works. As a note. No, I did mean explodey. Yeah. If any unit of yours is allocated wounds or mortal wounds earlier in the turn, even if negated, you get triple explodey hits on 6s. For that unit. On 6s, but does not stack with the Empower spell, so 5s would be 2 and 6s would be 3. Yeah, it's if you get shot. It's if you get shot or arcane bolted or, you know, whatever. Or attacked first in combat and then you get to go, right? Your opponent is always going to hit you first on his turn. So if they fail to kill you, you get stronger on the strike back. Combo. If you can have some way of damaging yourself on your turn, we might have a combo here. You know, some kind of, I don't know, deadly terrain, blood sacrifice kind of. If there's anything that could possibly deal damage to you on purpose so that you have control over it, we might have a combo on our hands. So it appears not to be very good, but it might be. Can you hit your own unit with Arcane Bolt? I don't think so. I think it says enemy unit. Is there a rule that says you can't shoot your own units? Yeah. You have to target enemy units with that stuff. Burning Head. Meme. So no Burning Head. Null Myriad. The Giga anti-magic faction. Eldritch Newells. You can roll a die each time a friendly Null Myriad unit holds within 9 of any friendly Null Myriad Mortesians or a friendly Archon. Wholly within 9? I already don't like it. Is affected by a spell cast by an enemy unit or the abilities of an endless spell summoned by on a 2-up, ignore it. Okay, so it's like a 2-up is a big spell ignore. It's just the best spells in the game. All of them don't target you. That's the problem. You got this stupid like Holy Within nonsense to do. I guess. Okay, so it's protection from white versus Wrath of God. Yeah, it's like hexproof versus damnation. It's like you can't target me. All right, well, they're all dead. A spell cast by an enemy unit, or the abilities of an endless spell summoned by an enemy unit. So specifically not you. You can't summon it and then be immune to it. It's only enemies. Yeah. This does nothing to stop Mystic Shield. Yeah, it does nothing to stop your opponent casting, you know, Blood Feast to give their Iron Guts an extra 8 attacks. You know, it does nothing to stop you know, +1 damage, +1 rend from like a Marathi spell, or you know, most of the good spells in the game are like teleports and buffs and stuff like that. This is a huge silver bullet. And I'm not trying to lock myself into a silver bullet where it's like, all right, I am Null Myriad. Who am I playing against? Iron Jaws. Oh, okay, so it'll do nothing. Got it. Who am I playing against? Khorne. Okay, it'll do nothing. Who am I playing against? Ogres. All right, it'll do nothing. Stormcast? Nothing. City of Sigmar? Nothing. You know, Sylvaneth. You go down the list. And then 1 out of 20 games you play against Slaanesh and you cuck their DP farm, I guess, because that spell. But only kinda. The other thing, isn't the other thing a CA or something? Anyway, I don't know. It just doesn't work against enough. It's the definition of like way too specific. Crematorians. Immolation. A legion of walking furnaces. This is the sickest shit. This is the coolest fucking lore for one of their sub-factions. And look, Petrifex Elite are made out of petrified dinosaur bones. Like, that's cool. Null Myriad is cool too. But, hey, Crematorian's coolest one. Each time a friendly Crematorian's model is slain before removing it, pick one enemy unit within 1 inch of it. Roll number of dice equal to wounds characteristic for each 5 up the enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound. Okay. Hey look, it's Khorne's entire fucking thing. Only better. And it sucks. Nice. Yep, it's just the Khorne ability. 3 inches. Every single model in your entire army. Roll equal to the number of wounds. 5 up for a mortal wound. Stormcast Malding, Khorne Malding. Alright. Catacross dies on like roll 20, yeah. Is it wounds characteristic per model? No. Wounds characteristic of the model that died. Isn't this the Stormcast one, but double the damage? Well, the Stormcast one I believe is 1 inch. So this is like maybe a maybe. This is maybe a maybe for Crematorians. Sub-factions, we got once a turn, be tactical and ruin your opponent's plans if they're not playing well. It scales poorly to the opponent's skill. The better your opponent is, the more never you're going to be able to use this. But the better you are, the more you think ahead and set it up so that the good opponent can't choose not to have this happen. So it scales with your skill, but it disproportionately scales with your opponent's skill. So this is like the tactical one. Petrifex Masters is for like big boy, you know, auto defeat gutbusters, I guess. Stallions is just great if you're what are they called? If your Cavalos Death Riders are good, then Stallions is good. Because re-rolling charges for free is just quality. Angori Host maybe has a combo. We'll see. Feels like it seems bad at first. It's a little confusing, but I think it might. Maybe there's a combo to it, and it's like the anti-chip damage faction. It's good for charging into Unleash Hell and stuff like that. I mean, we'll see. Also, if you're like if you're like a Fire Slayer's level of durability, which OBR historically has been, maybe you just tank the hits and now you have triple explodies. If they fail to kill you or something, I don't know. Maybe it could happen, but maybe not. Null Myriad is trash, pure sideboard, but there's no sideboard in the game, so you would never do this. If you could like pick your subfaction as a sideboard option after you looked at your opponent's list, but before you deployed, then okay, maybe Null Myriad sometimes, but since you can't do that, no way. And Crematorians, like maybe it's finally enough. You roll more dice now, maybe. I need to see the wounds value on Mortek Guard, but I'm guessing 2 wounds for them. I'm just guessing. Maybe you have enough recursion and you roll enough dice and it's 3 inches. We'll see. Could work. Hekatos are the Immortal Guard and the Stalkers. Yeah. If that's true, then Petrifex is for just the huge. It's for the big boys, right? It's the Thunderquake kind of thing, where it's just you play the bigs and they take less damage. You're laughing about 2 wound guard? Bro, Squig Herd got 2 wounds. If they're giving even Squig Herd 2 wounds, anything's possible. Apparently, they're just making shit up now with this 2 wound business. If Squig Herd got 2 wounds, anyone could have 2 wounds. Even fucking Noblars, for all the sense it makes. So, I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen the Mortek Guard yet, but it's possible they got 2 wounds. Because they be handing that out. So the subfactions, I just think they're neat. Marge Simpson meme. I just think they're neat. None of these are like blowing me up. You know, this isn't happening, right? I'm not like, holy fuck, this subfaction right here makes the entire army overpowered or anything, but I don't mind that. It's okay to have subfactions that are like, it's okay. Your power can come from elsewhere. Unlike the Khorne ones, they do actually do something. But none of them seem crazy. 2 Noblars and a trench coat, yeah. Now we get artifacts. There technically are Mortek guarded 2 wounds. Oh, Mir Kanan's Reapers. Dude, Mir Kanan. What a perfect name for that dude. So we got Mortesian only and everybody only, huh? Okay, so Mortesian only. Let's start with the wizard only ones. And remember, no arcane tome. It's over. No arcane tome on priests either. Kind of fucks me. I wasn't thinking about that at first, but now I am. It doesn't fuck the best lists, because the best lists didn't have Frostlord General, but it fucks the worst ones, like mine. Lumen Scythe. Subtract 1 from hit rolls and wound rolls for attacks that target the bearer while they are within 3 inches of any enemy units. Forgive me, but Mortesians are like foot wizard heroes with like 5 wounds or something. You're dead. If you enter combat, don't worry about it. Artesian's Key. Bone Shaper. Before you use the bearer's Bone Shaper ability, roll a die and a 3-up. You can either pick 2 units within 6, or you can pick 1 unit within 6 and shape the bones twice. Oh, double shapies, huh? I can't remember what Bone Shape actually does. I think it's a regen. This one's probably good. Apparently you can still tome Priest or Frostlord because of the way ordering works with list building, at least according to some internet dude. Yeah, I talked about that when I read it too. I'm like, you know, I'm sure there's an order to this somewhere written. And so if it's the other way around, then that gets around it. But, you know, some things, in fact, a lot of things, it's hard to tell what Games Workshop meant when they wrote the words, a lot of the times. But when they say you can't do it to a priest, and you find a way to do it to a priest, and they're like, you can't do it to a priest, I think their intent is clear. Because you make them a priest with a trait, yeah. I thought the traits happened before artifacts, though, but I would need to check the tapes. And if it really did work, they would just fix it. So, I don't mind. That's one of those, you know, technically you can do it until they say you can't, but you clearly can't. Or you clearly aren't supposed to. Because that's what the words they typed were intended. Then again, we should punish them for not writing things correctly, right? You know? We can't condition them to just do whatever they want and then we assume we know what they mean. We got to condition them to write rules, right? Bones of the Abyss. Soul Mason only. Each time the bear successfully casts a spell that is not unbound, add one attack's characteristic of the bear's ossified claws. Look, maybe Soul Mason's attacks are just insane. Maybe he's got those Durthu attacks, but if he doesn't, I don't know why you would write this. Hey, wizards can't fight. Yo. Hey, this is the wizard-only section. Somebody send Games Workshop a telegram. Some Morse code or something. Wizards on foot can't fight. If they're in combat, they're dead. Why are you printing combat artifacts for wizards in the year of our Lord current year? Stop it. Maybe I'll get to the War Scroll and I'll have to walk it back. I'll go to the War Scroll and there's a Mortesian keyword who's just a fucking like actual monster in 8'9", fucking 700 pounds of muscle, just jacked. He's got 4 arms, quad wielding great swords. Look, maybe that is the case, and I'll take it back, right? But it seems like. So says the ogre player. Yeah, wizard. Yeah, foot wizards can't fight. You know butchers? Butchers and slaughtermasters for ogres? They can't fight either. They're clearly kind of supposed to, but they just can't. Anyway, and then Gothazar Cartouche. Alright. Cartouche. Ossifector only. Buy the new model only. Add 1 to wound rolls for attacks made with melee weapons by friendly Osiark Bone Reaper units wholly within something of the bear. Oh yeah, a great one. AoE +1 the wound buff. Yep. Buy the new model. It seems like they can write good ones. If they really try to. If there's an incentive there. Soul Mason isn't the new model. Yeah, I know. Ossifector is. Ossifector only. Down here. What a Gothazar cartouche bag, am I right? Anyway, and then OBR hero. Old book hits within 9. All right, so 12, 9, we'll see. They should make it only work if you have 3 of the new model in a little triangle like Coven, yeah. It costs 1 command point to use. Unless you show your opponent the receipt of you buying it from Games Workshop instead of 3D printing it, then it's free. Load of saturation. Damn, I like this artifact. I'm in for this one. What do we got? Add 1 to ward rolls for the bear. Oh, okay. Carry the load. Complete loadal saturation. Got some Resident Evil memes in the chat. All right. +1 to ward rolls. So a 4-up then? No, it makes it a 5-up. You can use a command ability to then make it a 4-up if you want. It can't be unintentional when you're writing the bone book. True. Complete lodal saturation. Marrow Pact. Each time the bearer fights, stopped reading there. Nobody can fight. They're foot heroes, but maybe they can. We'll see. After all their attacks have been resolved, you can heal up to a number of wounds allocated to the bearer equal to the number of wounds or mortal wounds caused by attacks or allocated enemy units, even if they are negated. There's no way I'm ever taking that. Some fight 1 lol, heal lol. Mind Blade. Pick one of the bearer's melee weapons at the end of the combat phase. If any wounds or mortal wounds caused by attacks made with the weapon were allocated to the hero that phase, and the hero was not slain. The hero... Wait. At the end of the combat phase, if you didn't kill the hero cannot carry out heroic actions for the rest of the battle. So this could do something after failing to do something. This reminds me of Frost Spear, where it's like hardly ever going to work. And when it does, it doesn't matter. Alright. You know how to stop a hero from using heroic actions? By killing them. So try to do that instead. You should build your army to be able to kill those heroes, instead of wasting an artifact choice on some shithead to fail to kill something and then minorly inconvenience it for the rest of the game. What a waste. Helm of Tyranny. Any unit, enemy units cannot receive the Inspiring Presence command while they're within 3 of the bear. Too close. Too close. I feel like you can just take casualties off and be out of combat probably, and then still make Inspiring. Not always. That's only sometimes an option. But yeah, no way. Helm of 3-inch, no Inspire, but too much counterplay, and also, you know how to stop Inspiring Presence? By killing the unit. There it is. Use artifacts. Blow. I mean, You even take nerfed Arcane Tome instead of the stuff, right? Maybe you carry the load, I guess. It's okay. Putting the heal one on a Liege Cavalos in a low point game, or if he's only ever fighting like crappy stuff, he could be kind of invincible in late game scraps or something like that, where he just keeps healing up. You have to choose your targets well, and your opponent can't just outright kill him. But anyway, give me music. So like carry the load's okay. It's kind of boring, but it's okay. The heal fight one is maybe okay if you're trying to make a Chad Horse Lord who's just bullying weak units. And you could do that. Doesn't feel great, but it could do something. Mindblade, trash. Helm of 3-inch, trash. Mortesian ones, you probably take Bone Shapies, I guess. Do wards stop at 1-up like saves? No. A 1 doesn't auto-fail on wards, but I don't think there's anything in the game that can get you there. So like, you probably choose this one if this ability is good. And if not, you probably go nerfed Arcane Tome. Maybe this, maybe that. Your artifacts aren't like incredible. Not great. But some can have niche uses now that Tome nerfed, but probably Bone Shaper 1 or new model 1. Yeah, I think you take new model 1 or the Bone Shaper 1, and the rest, nah. As I see it on the initial read through. Spell lores. What's the Tome nerf? You cannot give it to a wizard or a priest. Also, you do not get a spell lore choice with it. It's only Arcane Tome Mystic Shield. Which you still take in a lot of armies, actually. But it's ahem. Do you have one or two? You have one. You have one spell lore. Also can't go in. Oh yeah, they fixed the corn thing too. Empower Netherite weapons. Casting Veil 5, range 24. Yo, 24? Good range. Nice range. 5 to cast. 5 to cast is great. I see 5 to cast and 24 holy. This is a good start. This is a good start. So starting next hero phase, Netherite weapons battle trait triggers on an unmodified hit roll of 5 instead of 6. 5 on mortal wound instead of 6. Note, doesn't work with that one thing. But that's a good one. Protection of Nagash. Oh, is this the one where it's wizard only? If somebody damages him, he gets to teleport. I wonder if they kept it. Is it unchanged? At the end of any phase. Oh, now it's at the end of any phase. I wonder if it was at... I can't remember if it was at the end of the phase last time or not. I thought it was right after it happened before, which made it a lot better. I'd have to check the tapes. If any wounds or mortal wounds were allocated to the caster of that phase from an attack made with a melee weapon, oh, ooh, ew. It used to be anything. Move them from the battlefield, set them up after setting up the spell. After setting up the caster, the spell's unbound. Cool, look, they gave a name for the spell no longer being in effect, right? For the end of an ability, and they say it's unbound. Which means you cast this, and it just lasts for the entire game until someone hits you. That's kind of cool. So turn 1, Nagash casts this on himself. And then in Battle Round 4, when someone finally hits him, he teleports. That's kind of neat to think about. Big nerf, though. Yeah, it's melee weapon now. No fun detected. Lasts until who gets triggered? You or the opponent? Well, it's got to be your opponent because you're triggered by even reading this sentence. As a OBR player, you read the description for protection of Nagash and you're like already triggered, right? It doesn't stop movement after. It sure does, because it probably only works in the combat phase. I mean, look, if Korn fights you in the hero phase, sure, you can teleport and then move. So there is that. There is that. So for what it's worth, if someone fights you in the hero phase and fails to kill Nagash, then you get to teleport, and then in your movement phase you get to move. So there is that. But giga nerf. Alright, reinforced constructs. Cast on a 5, range 18. Cast on 5. Pretty good range. Cast on a 5. 4-up ward against mortal wounds. And the one thing doesn't work on that. Until your next hero phase, unit gets 4-up rune ward. Which is... kind of depends on who you're fighting against, but either really good or okay. Nagash casts this on a 2. Well, I mean on a 3. A 2 would be a miscast, but... Drain. Vitality. Is a spell that has a casting value of, well, we just don't know, and a range of 18. 18 inch. Holy casts on something. It's not holy because it target enemy. To your next hero phase, subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks made by that unit, and subtract 1 from probably save rolls for attacks that target that unit. Hey, look, it's a spell that Null Myriad is good against, eh? Null Myriad? Hell yeah, good in the mirror match. Active in chat message. Hey, thanks. Response. This is a very good spell. -1 to hit and -1 to saves enemy. Rib cracker, eat your heart out. That shit is... I'm actually gonna... This is the spell you take. So your first spell choice is Drain Vitality, for sure. And the second is maybe Empower. If you're a coward, you take Reinforced Constructs. If you are rolling your spell choices by rolling a d6 and picking it, then you take Protection of Nagash. Mortal Contract. So we don't know what this one casts on. Do you want to guess? Do we guess, is it an 8 because it's so good? Or do cast values have nothing to do with how powerful a spell is? Rib Cracker, you don't think that spell exists anymore, Mr. World? Yeah, it was too good. It was too good for ogres to get access to a spell half as good as Drain Vitality, you're right. We're not really a casting, you know. I think like 7 is a safe guess, but it is just a guess. So Mortal Contract. For the rest of the battle, roll die at the end of each phase in which any attacks made by that unit inflicted any damage on you. 3 up, enemy unit suffers D3. You kind of pick the same and... Oh, okay. That's kind of cool. This is fun. End of phase, right? I like this spell. This spell is cool. This spell is cool. I don't know if it's worth taking exactly, but it's cool. Peepo Comfy, thanks for the tier 1. I appreciate it for 12 months. Almost a year. A big year. Thanks for them. Tier 1 in 12 months. Also good comment. So this one, you cast it on some enemy unit, and then whenever they fight you, basically forever, they take D3 until they're finally dead. This is like a cool spell. I think it's cool. It lasts forever. You can't stack it. Just put it on. You put it on the thing that is always going to be fighting, I guess, and it just slowly kills itself. Maybe. Can you cast on multiple enemies over the game? Yeah. You can't pick the same enemy unit to be affected. So you're just like, you're just Iron Maiden cursing from Diablo 2. every unit in your opponent's army. That's the goal. If you take Mortal Contract, I know what you're thinking and I know what you're playing. I know your personality. You're like, look, I'm casting Mortal Contract on every unit on my opponent's army. That's the goal. You only have 5 turns to do it. You know, only about 2 of them are going to matter, but that's funny. Soul Release. Oof. Alright. Casting value of something to your next hero phase. Reserve units and enemy summoned units cannot be set up within 12 of you. The range of the spell is measured from the caster, even if an ability would allow you to cast it from elsewhere. No Umbral Spell Portalino. Okay. Well, then it's bad. Good talk. Silver Bullet against Deep Strikes, caster only, no combos, let's skip. I'm assuming Nagash just knows all these, in which case, sure, cast it on him because, you know, if you happen to be playing against an opponent who Deep Strikes, they're going to probably try to, like, alpha Nagash or something. And the fact that they just sort of can't is really strong. So Nagash he's got this in his back pocket. He opens up his wallet and he's like, oh yeah, I got a silver bullet against that. I'm assuming he knows all the spell lores. If he doesn't, holy shit. Right? But no one should ever take this normally. So Nagash himself has 2 spells that are clearly made just for him. Drain Vitality is incredible. Empower Netherite you're probably just taking. Mortal Contract is fun in a tactical way. I don't know how good it is. It's fun. And Reinforcement is okay if you're, like, terrified of dying. Like, a Rune Ward is good, but Drain Vitality is always amazing, no matter who you're playing against. There's no situation, except a mirror match against Null Myriad, I have to say now, right? This is always amazing. This is, you know, some armies don't do mortal wounds. And then this is trash, right? Some armies do a tiny amount. Some armies do a shitload, and it's great. That's what it means to be a silver bullet. You're always fighting stuff. So, like, this is always amazing. This is always good. This is sometimes good and sometimes useless. And this is cute. Your spell lore is good. Because you have a spell that's amazing. That's why. Percussive Scruff, thanks to the tier 1 big release day for 15 months. Yeah, true. Thanks to the tier 1. You want to know if Archon's range bonus affects it? Probably not. Ooh. Never mind. I just read the card. It does. I don't know Archon's War Scroll, but the range of the spell must be measured from the caster. You are. You're just measuring a longer range. That's all. Easy. Cool. Alright, so your spell lore is good. You got a good spell lore. And then command traits, which I'm going to be putting in front of artifacts because that's the normal order of things. Dark Acolyte. Dark damage. You only have 1 page of them, so alright. Wizard only. In your hero phase, if the first spell is general attempts to cast in that phase is successfully cast, it can't be unbound. Oh, that's good. That's good. Hey, drain vitality. -1 saves, -1 to hit. If I roll a 7, no unbind, just always works. That's good. That's a good one. That is a good one. Ahem. Something about this general being on the battlefield, which they don't need to write, because abilities only work if they're on the battlefield. That's the default state. So you don't need to say this. The only way abilities work is by being on the battlefield. So this is a superfluous sentence. Roll die. Your opponent spends any command points on a command ability. On a 5-up, your opponent must spend 2 instead of 1. Nice. So they must have received the players. So the players rose up all across the world. All over the globe. Players rose up and said, "We love Total Eclipse. Please add more Total Eclipse rules to the game. Nobody hates these. They're fun to play against. Everyone loves them. Please keep adding stuff like this to the game." And GW finally listened to the demands of all the players in the world. Can we have more Total Eclipse, please? With unlimited range. Now this one only works on a 5-up, right? Only works on a 5-up. I will call it partial eclipse. CAs cost opponents 2, but only on a 5-up, but with infinite range. The way it's worded, it still lets your opponent do the command if they only have 1. No, I don't think so. Because it seems to have you rewind, right? On a 5-up, your opponent must spend 2 to issue it instead of 1. And if they can't spend 2, they can't issue it. So it seems to rewind you back to when you're issuing it and being like, nope, can't do it. As I read it anyway. If you must spend 2 and you don't have 2, to me, you can't do it. It's not that it fails. It's just you must spend 2. You don't have enough money. How else would you interpret must spend 2 if you only have 1? Are we back to 5 equals 10? And the weird thing is it says spend. So have you spent the 1 and then you still can't do it? Like, what happens? I think there is an FAQ question in here. You keep the 1, not that it matters. I think you spend the 1, and on a 5-up, you're just out. But I think this is an FAQ question. To be fair to Games Workshop, people travel across the world to see total eclipses. Yeah, I've seen one in my life. I wasn't looking directly at it, but you know the deal. Cosmic events are really cool. It doesn't change the cost, it changes how much you must spend. Yeah. How would you even spend 1 if it costs 2? Yeah, I know what they mean, but this one needed to be tighter. FAQ required for this to properly work, I think. Tigernomics. There's something funny about being able to unbind command abilities, like a general lays out a plan and your guy just tells them no and then they listen. Yeah, in my head I'm like, you're such a tactical genius, you countered it somehow, you know? Like opponent general up there pointing with his sword, and then you're like, you got like a mirror shield, you get the sun in his eyes. Oh fuck, I forgot where I was gonna close the trap door, you know, something like that. It's fun to think about what they're actually doing, you know? Maybe they send a raven off to issue a message to the front line and they shoot it, or I don't know. Hit him with the objection. That's actually better. Yeah, Catacross is just objection. Negative modifiers to save rolls for attacks. Something. Get this general. I'm assuming immune to rend, right? Surely you don't just ignore negative modifiers to save rolls. It's like better ethereal, yeah. It's cut off. It's like your general's a night haunt, except without the extra, because they added extra stuff to ethereal. But yeah, not sure. If so, your general is simply immune to damage, right? Like you have to kill him with mortal wounds, or he's on a 2-up literal always. Yeah, you have 2-up ethereal mounted cav general. What a chad. Thanks to the picture taker, not worrying about getting all those words. Yeah. Hey, we got the middle column though. It's the good one. Picture taker was hanging by a string in the vaults of GW, scanning stuff with their wristwatch camera or something. I don't know. They didn't have time. Is the review you did for Corn going to be uploaded somewhere? Probably not. It's in the archives for Twitch, so just check the VODs. Maybe Heywoah Plus or something. But we'll see. I normally just, because it's like a react, so it's the first time I ever see it, so it's like hype for people that haven't seen it before. But once people play with it for a month, who cares what I thought day one sight unseen, you know? My takes aren't usually hilariously wrong on first bluff, but they are not going to be comparable to somebody who like plays the army for 2 months or something and then finds a YouTube video on it, right? It's in Twitch. It's on the VODs, I think. Oh, and by the way, I believe it was the last stream, right? It was the last one. I played Diablo for like 2 hours before that, but just scrub through the footage. I think it was Monday's show. I played Diablo for like 2 hours, and then it was 6 o'clock, and then we did the corn thing. I think that's how that went. So it's that one. Crafted from beast bone. As Jonas fought for the first time at the start of each battle round, add 1 attack characteristic of his weapons for the rest of the battle. The effect is cumulative. This is fun. This is funny. Second bone. So this is funny. So you fight in battle round. Let's pretend you fight in battle round 1, even though who knows. So you get +1 attacks battle round 2, +1 attacks 3, 4, 5. This is like the fun choice, right? This is the pet unit fun choice. You become the murder bone. Alpha Strike to get the buff. Yeah, and then you just run away and you're just biding your time and then you come in and fucking slap. That's funny. That's a funny one. I'm gonna call this the fun one. The fun one. See, look, they can do fun rules sometimes. Aura of Sterility? Are you... is that something to boast about? He's got this aura around him right when he walked into the room. It was at that moment I knew. I could feel it. He was sterile. He's just got that aura. He's got that sterile aura around him. He's so sterile that anyone he stands next to becomes barren. Takes out the competition. Anyway, subtract 1 from hit rolls and wound rolls for attacks made with missile weapons to target friendly OBR wholly within 12. Okay, little. Surgeons hate him. Wet nurses hate him. Hospitals hate him. Government population statistics data bean counters hate him. Find out how he stops birth rates. It is a sterile aura versus missile weapons, so he literally makes you shoot blanks. Thank you. Thank you. I'll be here all night. Try the fish. Thanks a lot. And now a word from our sponsors. Good. All right. Diversionary tactics. Subtract 3 from charge rolls for enemy units that attempt to charge within 12 of this general. That's actually sick. This is actually sick. D tactics. The entire crisis in Japan was a one-man job, yeah. Ahem. Oh, Tay Barracuda redeemed a meme ad? Alright, well, hey, it looks like it's more than just a meme. Please enjoy a word from our sponsors.
Hello there. I'm Mr. Cream.
AC Penny. When it fits, you feel it.
Once you pop, the cream don't stop.
If it doesn't get all over the place, it doesn't belong in your face.
Deliciously hot, dangerously creamy.
The juice is loose.
She wanted to remember the love they shared for
Cream.
Sometimes you feel like a
Stuffed 5 ways.
So my family's looking for beef.
Now, that's what I call
Cream, yeah.
Because I'm good enough, I'm smart enough.
And I am the cream.
Then why do we call it big? Because big things go into it.
at the Men's Warehouse.
You're gonna cream.
I guarantee it.
All right, back from a commercial break. These treats are like good. Yeah, these treats are good. Dark Autocast is good. Partial Eclipse is not consistent, but you will be rolling so many dice over the course of the game that it's just going to stop stuff or attack stuff in the aggregate a decent amount. You know, people are using 2 command points a turn for the whole game, basically, right? Just about. Not on turn 1, maybe, but people use like, what, 15 command points a game or something? Depending on how long this guy lives. You know, you're gonna get some of those at random, maybe. The page was cut off, but this might be really good. The page is cut off. I'm not sure, but it might be really good. This one is fun. This one, if you are terrified of the shooting meta, you can play this one. And D Tactics, like -3 to charge rolls is no joke within 12 of this guy. Most chargey war scrolls tend to have +1 to charge. It turns every 7-inch charge into a 9er. That's brutal. That's big. This D Tactics, real good. Maybe I'm just saying that because my army is a charge phase army, but that's good. Where did the "So My Family's Looking for Beef" clip come from? I have no clue. I don't, you know, I scoured YouTube for commercials from the like 80s and 90s, basically, and found some good clips out of it. I think that one is more recent. That might be a 2000 something. But yeah, that will hurt Deep Strikes. It will hurt Deep Strikes. It will very hurt Deep Strikes, such that it's probably not even worth trying. You're so unlikely to succeed that you know, he might as well be immune because your opponent isn't going to choose to do it. Unless your opponent just savage chooses to do it. Got him. Boxcars. Good trait. Just wrecks you. But, you know, that's gonna happen to you in a dice game. You just got to play it long enough, and it will. Grand stratagems and battle tactics. Time to decide if the army is going to be good or not. Sadly. Grand strats. Oh wait, I don't need grand strats right here. I was putting that into the artifact section. No, we go here. Do you have one that you can auto do? Please grand strat if any friendly Mortec Guard or Death Riders from your starting army have the same number of models as they had at the start of the battle. If any? I think you could do that. If any? Even one unit is at full strength by the end of the game, you could totally do that. I mean, they got a lot of regen too, but even if they didn't, chances are that's just kind of going to happen, as long as you're not tabled. A textbook conquest. When the battle ends, you complete this grand strategy. If you absolutely destroyed your opponent so hard that the battle was literally easy and you were probably playing someone that was way worse than you. And if you curb stomp your opponent, you win more. The ultimate win more. When the battle ends, you complete this grand strategy if there are more friendly Mortesians than enemy heroes on the battlefield. Nah. When the battle ends, you complete the grand strategy if you completed at least 4 battle tactics, and this is like the laziest one that they've now added to a whole bunch of books. If you do 4 of the ones we wrote for you. Skills balanced is a good one. Throwing people always bring up Japan, the context of low birth rates. I think it's because people are used to old data. It was a story before, but you know, governments really care about birth rates. They actually give a shit about that, and so they do things to make sure you're in the positive. And Japan actually did, and it's working pretty well, as you say. So true AO Rooster. Sorry for the delay in your first time chat. How does the battle end if it never starts? Yeah. Wait, does the battle end? We gotta look that up. Does the battle end, though? We assume it ends. But does it actually end? I'm gonna go right out and say it. I don't like grand strategies because they're mostly win more. I don't like rewarding someone for winning more. In other words, for having an easy game. That's my philosophical problem with grand strats. Is because inevitably, very often, they're used for tiebreakers, and I don't think you should reward players for curb stomping someone way below their skill level in the standings. I think, if anything, the opposite should be true. We should reward the person with the most difficult, impressive fight to the top, rather than reward people for happening to play against some easy opponent and crushing them. That's just me. That's just it's just the Magic player, you know, Swiss in me, but battle tactics. Trample the Defiant. Pick a friendly cavalist Death Rider, more than 3. You complete the tactic if the unit made a charge move this turn and is within 3 of any enemy units at the end of the turn. No, this is awful. What if they kill that unit? Are you telling me you need to charge with Death Riders and then not kill the enemy? And if you do, you lose the point? This should be at the beginning of combat, I think. Because you're not actually trampling. It should be called Don't Trample the Defiant too hard, otherwise you'll lose. And this right here tells me that they didn't playtest battle tactics. Not even once. You would, if you played this army one time with battle tactics in testing, you would see this and you'd be like, nope, this has to change. Did they give the playtesters the battle tactics here? I'm guessing no. Because you play this army one time and you'd be like, Trample the Defiant. Huh, that doesn't... So if I kill it, I don't get the points for it? That seems weird. You would need to play one game to realize that. I'm assuming they're just not giving the playtesters battle tactics, which is fucked up because it's like... The entire game revolves around battle tactics now. Just charge and don't fight? You actually have to. In first edition, you could choose not to. You must fight. You don't have to pile in all the way. But... This is not a new issue. It's been around since WD. Yes. It was like this in the Ogre book. It was like that in the Corn book. It was like that in a different book. They keep printing this same one over and over, and it's always wrong. And it always needs to be changed. They keep doing it. Beasts has one as well, yeah. Big agree, you hate everything that wants you to be within 3 inches after the enemy removed slain models, or Gutsan if you just wipe it out. You know, you're playing Age of Sigmar, you try to kill the whole unit. If you kill the whole unit, you like lose. You lose your battle tactic because you won too hard. Weird. Hey, at least it's not, hey, but you know what? Remember my complaint from Grand Strats? It's not rewarding win more, that's for sure. It's just, if you win, you lose. Immortus Guard and a friendly Mortesian are contesting the same objective wholly outside of your territory. Well, if you're playing those, you can probably do that. Remorseless Bombardment. Kill something with Mortec Crawlers. Well, if they're good, then this one is good. If they're not, it's not. Maybe it's too easy if it checks before combat. So how about if you charge a unit with Death Riders and that unit is dead at the end of the turn? Or maybe just if you charge with Death Riders and the Death Riders are alive at the end of turn. I could see that. Like if it checks end of turn to see if the Death Riders are still alive, maybe that's the compromise. Because, you know, regardless of anything else, if you've charged the enemy and you're still alive, we'll call that a win for Trample the Defiant. Or maybe have it be wipe out the unit or something. Take an enemy hero or monster, you complete the tactic if it's destroyed during this turn by an attack made by a friendly Gothazar Harvester. I would need to check their War Scroll, but they don't seem fast, so probably not. Probably not a good one. Because an enemy monster is probably going to get the charge on them if they're slow. And an enemy hero is too far away from a Harvester to attack. And a hero monster of the opponents is definitely going to get the drop on them. Unless they're just like super durable or something, but I don't know. The edge of obliteration. The edging of OBRing. Complete the tactic if 2 or more friendly Necropolis Stalker units are wholly within enemy territory and more than 9 from all enemy units. Okay, so if you're playing Necropolis Stalkers and they wicked kill everything around them, that could be. Unfeeling Recursion. Can you stop? Can you stop with these? Games Workshop, please. You're laying it on a bit thick. Remorseless Bombardment. Oof. 3 more friendly OBR units on the battlefield that had models returned to them this turn using Reknit. And did not have any models slain in this turn. Okay. And did not have any models slain. Interesting. Yeah, this is like, I retreat onto the objectives and auto pass this. Sure. Sure thing. These are like good enough. Grand Strats, found one. Battle Tactics. Good enough. Not auto or anything. They're good enough. Now we get to the War Scrolls. Who do we look at first? It's Nagash, Supreme Lord of the Undead. 18 wounds, 3 up save, 10 bravery, 10-inch flying. He is slow. He's got some attacks. Ren 3 damage D6. Hold up. Did he get the keyword of OBR? Nice, he does. So we got exploding hits on Ren 3 damage D6. That's fun. You can use the Army's Allegiance abilities even though this unit is not from the Army's faction. However, the unit does not benefit from them. Oh, never mind. Can't benefit. He doesn't. He doesn't actually gain the keyword. So, no fun allowed. Still casts 8 spells. The number of spells this unit can attempt to cast in your hero phase is determined using... Yep, so he's got 8. He can attempt to unbind any number of spells in the enemy hero phase. Okay, infinite unbind rolls. Sure. If this unit is part of a Nighthaunt Fleshy Accords OBR, it knows all the spells from the spell lores. Yep. In addition to the other spells it knows. Cool. He's bigger than that, Chris. He's large, yeah. So infinite unbindies. I mean, 8 unbinds is the fucking same, right? So, the unit is accompanied by a host of, yeah. Add 3 to casting, unbinding, and dispelling. Nice. Okay, so no, his casting bonus no longer. Double Jenny. No keywords. No allegiance fun. Infinite unbinds. No longer, his +3 to cast unbind no longer charts, which is nice. It used to go like 3, 2, 2, 1, you know. Now it just stays at 3. So he's like the most powerful unbinder in the world. Infinite +3 unbind and dispelling. Hold up. Sorry. Also dispel. Invocation. At the start of your hero phase, for each friendly summonable Mordaunt or Ozark Bone Reaper's unit wholly within range of this unit, which is 24, after taking as many as 9. What's Double Jenny? He is a War Master, and so he counts as your general, in addition to whatever general you've chosen for your army. So you have 2 generals, so we have Double Jennies, which is an ancient meme from the channel that somebody wrote in chat a million years ago, and everyone found it funny. And he's got the return up to 3 wounds characteristic or heal. Holy isn't 24. I'm going to start listing these out, alright? Degrades. Is it your? It is your hero phase. Doesn't heal self. Friendly death units wholly within 12 of this unit have a ward of 5 up. He only has a 5 up ward. I say only, but that's about the best ward anyone gets. Supreme Lord of the Undead. At the start of your hero phase, you can pick 1 summonable Mordaunt Ozark Bone Reaper's unit with a wounds characteristic of 3 or less. It has been destroyed and roll a die. On a 3 up, a new replacement unit, half the models. Oh, they brought this back. You used to be able to do this, except for whole units. Replacement units mostly set up wholly within 12 of this unit, more than 9 from enemies. Units set up this way cannot move. Replacements cannot themselves be replaced. So you can bully this away by just fighting him. Oh, actually, wounds characteristic of 3 are... It really is less. It's not fewer. Because you're talking about a characteristic, not a number of things. So he's a Gloomspite terrain feature, but actually they stole it from him first. Summonable Mordaunt OBR. So for the purposes of this army, it's anything in your army with wounds characteristic 3 or less. The 9 books of Nagash, a number of spells this unit can attempt to cast, is shown. Oh yeah, we know that. 8 spells. Eight spells per turn. Hand of Dust is a spell that has a casting value of 8. Alright, Hand of Dust. Hand of Dust. Cast on 8. Range of 3. Any portal enjoyers? Dude, you still take a die and hold it in your hand and have your... We're still playing charades, guessing games with our opponent. Enemy model slain. We still play the kid game to slay a model outright. Soul Stealer. Cast on 7. Range 24. Nice range. Deals D3 mortal wounds. If the unmodified casting roll is 9 up and it's not unbound, okay. D6 mortal wounds instead. You can heal up to 1 wound that has been allocated to the caster for each mortal wound caused by it. He heals per mortal wound you deal. But this one is and not negated. Yeah, that is a 12 to cast, by the way. Alright, so he doesn't have his arcane bolt thing, which I didn't like. I thought that was dumb. It didn't feel very thematic to me as an ability. So he lost that. Yeah, we're playing the point prediction game. And we've updated the point prediction game to show what I guessed on here. And then the real. So this dude has a 5-up ward, 3-up save, 18 wounds, kind of slow, knows all the spells in OBR, so he's got protection of Nagash, which lasts the whole game. You might as well cast it. He's got access to the silver bullets, which then become really good. He is a monster, so he gets monster actions. Hell yeah. I mean, he's got 8 attacks that are like, you know, kind of Stonehorn quality attacks. Plus 3 to unbind with unlimited unbinds is sick. He is rightfully a Dom. The Dommy Daddy caster. His casting bonus no longer degrades, but his number of casts do. But that actually doesn't matter. In OBR, how many spells can you even cast with him? I don't even think you have 8 worth using every turn. Hand of Dust is whatever. You can use Umbral Spell Portal with it, just like always. Soul Stealer is a decent way of healing him. Range 24 is a good range, too. Helps out boys around him with a ward, I suppose. Invocation, good. Supreme Lord of the Undead, good, even though your opponent can body block it by fighting. He is undoubtedly better than he used to be. What was his previous point cost? This is something I get to look up. I get to look this up. What was he at before? Like, did they finally reduce him under 900? So, Techless is what, 720? Is that correct? Was Techless 720? Is that what he costs, or is it more now? Because I'm comparing him to Techless. 965 now. Why did you ruin the game? Wait, he's not 965. He wouldn't be a 5. They got rid of 5s. Maybe you're trolling me. Techless is 700. Is he better than Techless just straight up on the War Scroll? Let's think about that. He fights slightly better than Techless, I suppose. Or maybe not even. Techless is 720 is today. So it's 4 spells auto with a way better spell lore. And I mean way better. But what I'm looking at here, what he's got over Techless is basically Supreme Lord of Undead. That's pretty much all he's got ahead of Techless. The Supreme Lord of Undead gets to reanimate something at half. Reanimates all your stuff at half if you can keep him out of 9 of enemies, right? And the regen. But the spell lore is much worse. I think people are sleeping on Supreme Lord of the Undead, even though it negatively scales with the skill of your opponent. This is a lot, this is a lot of points you're getting back over the course of the game. It kind of turns your army into Gloomspite Gits, right? Where everything you kill just kind of comes back on turn 3 and you got to deal with it again. I think the OBR spell lore is easily 100 points worse than the Techless spell lore. Maybe even more than 100 points worse. But Supreme Lord might just make up for it. And it's only like your Mortec though. Yeah, specifically in OBR army, I'd say same price as Techless. He seems about as good as Techless. Pretty much just as good. Like at the end of the day, truly on the table when you're seeing what both of them can do with the army itself, I think he's just as good as Techless. Especially in OBR where he seems like he's at his weakest, I think. Just because of the number of stuff you can bring back. In the lore, Techless beat Nagash, so he clearly should be cheaper. I mean, in the lore, Techless cheated. Techless cheated to beat Nagash. He had the cheat, but he did win. So my guess is Techless cost 720 question mark, since about the same power. That's my guess. My guess is Techless cost. How did Techless cheat? Because he was written by an elf fan, which is obviously cheating. Alright, was I being trolled by Hades, who spoiled the game? I just don't think there's 5s. Nope, there are still 5s. Okay, I thought they got rid of 5s. 965. Okay. Teclis changed today to be 720, if I recall correctly. I could see as much as... I could see a little more than Teclis. He does a lot of stuff that's really good. Hand of Dust with Umbral Spell Portal can simply take out, you know, huge point values, right, from anywhere. That has to be taken into consideration. And it turns your army into Gloomspite Gits, where you reanimate entire units at half strength to fight forever, although you can play around it. Which is, it's so much value over the course of the game. But at the end of the day, the spell lore isn't even a third as good as Lumineth's. They both auto-cast, basically, and auto-unbind, basically. Yeah, I think he's about as good as Teclis in OBR. And he's 250 points more expensive. But, he has to be really expensive. That's the tax. Can you cast Hand of Dust more than once? No. 1 per phase. You can reanimate half of an army because he is half of your army? Yeah. Doesn't he have access to all death spell lores? No, just the one in your army. If this unit is part of a Nighthaunt, Flesh Eater, Courts, Osier, Bone Reapers, or Soulblight Gravelord's army, it knows all of the spells from the spell lores in that faction's allegiance abilities. That being the operant there, which is the army that you have. Not everybody, it doesn't know like Nighthaunt spells in OBR or anything. Nagash also has the opportunity to be good in 4 armies. Teclis is stuck in LRL, then point him appropriately per army. Make him cost what he should cost in an OBR army. And then if you play him at Nighthaunt, give him a different cost. He has to be... There's no way he's the same exact power level in all 4 of those armies. There ain't no way. Therefore, you should have a different cost in each of them. I don't see any other way to do it. That just makes sense. That's just science, alright? Cheapest way to get into AOS currently, go to Wahapedia to read all the rules for free, and then buy Tabletop Simulator to play a digital, kind of crappy, but good enough version of the game for free. Then if you like the game, once you know you like it, because you try before you buy 1 box of stuff every month until your army is done. You spread that cost out over time, right? And you work towards that 2K force that you had fun with on TTS. Buy 1 box a month for $60. Assemble it, paint it, finish painting it. Next month, do the same thing. 6 months or so, you got yourself an army, you spread the cost out. And you didn't make a huge mistake because you tried it before you bought it. There it is. And if you want to throw Games Workshop a few more bucks because you like their product, then you can go ahead and buy a Battle Tome or something if you want. Or a GHB, instead of just steal all the rules from online. And that's my suggestion for getting into Age of Sigmar the cheapest. It spreads the cost out, so it's like a monthly price, which makes it easier for you. You try before you buy, so you don't waste any money. And there you have it. Or be like you and buy everything, then regret it, sell, buy more, and then finally buy way too much and feel hopeful that this time you won't sell. Yeah, don't do that. If you're independently wealthy, then it's your money. Do whatever the fuck makes you happy with it, even if it's just pointlessly buying things and then selling them later when the passing fancy wears off. If you have the money to do that and not have your lifestyle change at all, then I see no harm. And you're kind of helping, you're kind of a job creator. Because when you're selling crap that you impulse bought 3 months ago, somebody else is buying that from you at a discount and they're getting into the game cheaper. If you're not a millionaire, then maybe don't do that. But I'm not going to tell you how to live. I'm just saying be a smart shopper. In all things in your whole life, not just for expensive games. You know, you're going to buy a car, you're going to buy a TV. You'll just roll up and buy whatever. You do some research. You take that shit for a test drive, right? If you're independently wealthy, try this shit out. Have I told you about the good word of just spending money for no reason? If you're wealthy, try this. Kicker7 redeemed meme ad. All right, hey, get advertised at. Please enjoy a word from our sponsors, all right?
Hello there.
Whoa, that's the previous ad. Ahem. Pardon me. What about cream of wine?
What can you do with
Cream.
you can't do with any other wine?
Know why I refrigerate? Because my friends love to.
Cream.
This setting should indicate that we know how to...
Cream.
Hello, darling.
C'era Lambrusco, Bianco, and Rosato have such a bright taste. Every sip said
Cream.
Their wine list is first rate.
All it says is...
You know that I'm the cream. What a cream to taste.
What a cream to taste. All right, we're back. Anyway, let's get on with it. Archon the Black. All right. Ahem. What is it about cream? Archon the Black unlocks battle line. I'm assuming Morghast, right? Because Morghast kind of visually look like him, and he builds them. Archon the Black, aka Archon the Hat. Unlocks Morghast battle line, I'm assuming. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. 14 wounds, 3 up save. Hey. Alright. Alright, he's a little... He got a durability. 16 flying? Holy shit. $14 wounds, 3 up save. Nice. Damn, they don't want this guy to die. And neither do you. He has some tiny wizard attacks. Oh, but he's got 6 ebon claws. 4s and 3s. 4s on everything. Alright. Not exactly a fighter. Not exactly a fighter, but that's fine. And then we got the fucking book, the book War Scroll cards, huh? You are locked into what? Yo, no lock? No subfaction lock? Nice. You'll love to see it. That really helps things. And special note, that's really good that he's not. It just works. He can like reroll charges. Right, but you can play him in whatever army you want. You can just toss him in there. If it turns out that you just need Archon to play like a good OBR list, like if it ends up being the case, I haven't read his scroll yet, it doesn't like further lock you into a subfaction then. That's what I kind of mean. He's a War Master. Double Jenny. He has a companion and a mount. His cup overfloweth. Feaster of Souls, any feasters in the chat? Each time this unit fights, after all of its attacks have been resolved, you can heal up to a number of wounds allocated to this unit equal to the number of wounds more wounds caused by those attacks. To a maximum of 6? What is this? Why? Why a max of 6? Bro, he ain't fighting so good anyway. So give him a full heal if you spike 99.999 percentile and actually do damage with him. What's the harm? I mean, he is pretty durable, let's be honest. But, okay. Alright, heals per damage mortal wound he deals in melee, but max of 6 for no reason at all. You're telling me you play tested this and he was overpowered and you play tested it and you were like, hey, what about a maximum of 10? And the play testers responded, a maximum of 10 is still a little too good. What if it was a maximum of 5? And then you play tested that. And then you're like, I think actually 6 is the right one. And the play testers agreed and you shook hands. And then you went to the battle tactics section and you didn't even try any of them? Is that what happened? Or did you just type 6 because it's the highest number on a D6? And that's just all the thought that went into it. And you put a maximum on it because you're like, well, we don't want him to full heal. Why? Anyway. This is a dumb question, but is the big hat on your head the same one in the merch store? It is. This is advertising. So you get dispelling and unbinding rolls of just dispelling, casting dispelling. So he's a +2, but it degrades eventually. Although it degrades pretty slowly. Like he's very almost dead when it gets down to a +1. Looks like a nice quality hat. It is a nice quality hat. I made sure. I ordered one myself to see if it was good. How many spells can he cast per turn? 3. He's still a 3 caster. Double Jenny. 3 caster. Still not sure where the big comes from. It's just a meme for your ogres. It's just like a funny word that I said, that I say in life. Like big means good, kind of like, oh, this happened. Oh, big. Nice. And people found it funny and it became a meme. And I made an emote out of it. Because instead of typing the word big in my chat, you could use an emote that just says big, which I thought at the time, I'm like, this is a funny kind of tongue-in-cheek waste of an emote slot, because you could just type it. King. You could just type it, right? And it caught on, and it's like my most used emote by far. Miyabi, thanks for buying a big hat. I appreciate it. Good job, King. Appreciate it. Thanks for the $5. Or is it 4? Anyway. I appreciate. Oh yeah, and then I made a scuff big in MS Paint so that people who weren't subbed could use that one and be part of the fun. Guy already seems great. Add 6 to the range spells cast by friendly death wizards while they're wholly within 18 of this unit. Yo. That works for allies. Very interesting. And of course it works for him. Wholly Within 18 is a big range too. Archon good. Yeah, this is the shit. Even if you have no other wizards at all, not like ally wizards, not like OBR wizards, just him, it's still great. He's got kind of a big base too. This is awesome. In your hero phase, you can pick up to 3 different OBR units wholly within 24, and then do the Nagash thing. Nine-inch Hand of Dust. If that unit is an Immortus Guard or Necropolis Stalker unit, you can either heal up to 3 wounds allocated to it, or if no wounds have been allocated, roll die on a 3-up. You can... Oh, cool. You can also... But also 3-up, reanimate 1 big guy model. Nice. And then Curse of Years. How does this thing work? It's changed many times. Spelled it as a... Oh wait, hold up. There should be music. I always forget. I forget to turn it back on after the commercials. Casts on a 6, range of 18. Pick 1 enemy unit within range, invisible to the caster, and roll 10 dice. For each 6, it's a mortal wound. So, 2. And then you roll another die. So you roll those 2, and for each 5 up, they suffer a mortal wound. So 0, and then it ends. But if you get lucky, you can roll another, and then a 4, and then keep doing that. Until either no mortal wounds are caused or the target is destroyed. A roll of 1 always fails to cause a mortal wound. Fun detected. No infinity? Come on. But okay. Alright, this dude's great. I like him. Archon the Black, he's awesome. Triple caster, +2 to cast Unbind Dispel. Buffs his own ranges and everybody around him. Has the Nagash heal thing. Curse of Years is a cool spell. On average, it's probably going to do 2 damage.
Good job, King.
And then stop, but you can spin the wheel. Meat Bones Supreme. Good name. Thanks for the big shirt. I appreciate it. Thanks for the $4. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks a lot for the merch buy. So is Archon the Black better than Nagash? What does Nagash have over Archon the Black? He's got Return a Slain unit. That's basically it. Like, there's some other stuff, but I don't know. For the most part, Nagash returns a Slain unit, and then Archon does basically everything else that Nagash does. Pretty close to as good. I mean, they're both monsters even, right? Yeah, monster detected. So what does this dude cost? He can't really fight, but that's fine. He's a triple caster, +2 unbinder and caster. 14 wounds on a 3-up save. Increases the range of shit around him. He's fucking awesome. What does he cost? What should I cost him at? I don't think I'm prepared to say 400. I think 400 is a bit high, even though everything he does is amazing. 400 is just too high for, I think, this type of unit. I mean, I would still heavily consider playing him, probably. But I don't know what other heroes you're trying to fit into the army, this and that. He's so good. Yeah, I'm thinking like what he does for the army printed on his war scroll is probably like 400, but you know, I don't know, he can't fight and I want to fit more stuff into the army, so I'm getting greedy. I'm saying 360. It's silly to compare it to like a Huskard on Thunder Tusk or something. I can't even do that. I have to compare it to like real armies. Like, what's a Keeper of Secrets cost? Right? Like, what's a Keeper? Although, a Keeper is literally free, right? Because you just get one. Keepers are 400. Is this guy better in a Keeper of Secrets? He does different things, I suppose. He's kind of better. Keeper of Secrets is free, though. That's the cool thing about Keeper, is that it costs 0 points. You just take a sub-faction. Shalaxi is 420. Yeah, but for Shalaxi, I was going to guess like 280. So, you know. I'm going to say 360 Archon. I'm ready. He's 370. I was so close. I was pretty close. Yeah. He's awesome. I would happily pay that much. I would happily pay the extra 10 points. Don't worry. He is fucking awesome. He does everything you want. Holy shit. What a Chad. Godlike. Alright, hey, I'm liking the book so far. He's the ideal 400-point wizard at a 30-point discount, yeah. Oh, this shit's hot. So that means when you take... Alright, Catacross, please be good, am I right? Catacross. Is it 2 S's? No, it's 1. Alright, Catacross. Can play the guessing game with that one, too. His attacks characteristics are just like Shuriken, I guess. 20 wounds, 3-up save, 4-inch move. Yo, he's hauling. He is hauling across the battlefield. Catacross and Archon, 2 kings list. That'd be sick. Okay, so 20 wounds, 3-up save, 4-inch move. My man will not be rushed. He will not hurry. He will not be rushed. I mean, you can rush him to make it a 7 with a command, right? He doesn't want an extra 3. Only 1-inch range on all his attacks. He gets more attacks the angrier he gets. Everybody's 3s and 3s. 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. So he gets 1 attack with that. 1 from the Shield of Mortis. And then 10 from the Retinue guys. And then those go down while these go up. Does that kind of just unchart him? His wound chart seems, I didn't do the math on this, like as he loses Ruinous Blades, he gains this stuff, and he does just about the same, or probably more damage, as he becomes more wounded. I think it's more. I was just looking at this, he doesn't lose that many blades. And these attacks are actually pretty good, even though they're only 3s and 3s. Like, he probably just does more damage. It's a pity that, like, you know, you deal 10 damage to him and he's still not really fighting yet, and then maybe he might just end up dying and you never get to use this other stuff. Because you have to be, like, so close to dead for these to, I don't how long are you gonna be in that Goldilocks zone? That might be kind of a feels bad. But, you know. Oh shit, he's got abilities. We got a lot here. Double Jenny. I'm assuming. Yep. He has companions. Once per turn, this unit can issue a command to a friendly OBR unit anywhere on the battlefield for free. What a Chad. That's once per turn, right? Once per turn, issue CA for free to anything anywhere. That's great. That's awesome. You love to see it on something that's already good. Prime Necrophallus. Once per turn. Yeah, that's it. Gnosis. Gnosis Scrollbear. Start of your hero phase, you can pick one enemy unit on the battlefield. Until your next hero phase, subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks made by that unit that target friendly OBR units. But if they're attacking your allies, if you have any, then fuck them. And it's until next hero phase. Okay. Start of your hero. Start your hero phase, pick one unit anywhere, doesn't need line of sight, -1 to hit until your next hero phase. Because he's a tactical genius, right? Aviarch Spy Master. Once per turn you can roll a die when your opponent receives a command point. If you do, 5 up. And it's lost. Yeah, he doesn't lose his men anymore, which is huge. They just, like, stop fighting because he's pushing them out of the way and he's like, oh, this shit's serious, excuse me. Do nothing. This one is mine. Use the bottom row of this unit's damage table when it is fighting heroes. Sick. All right, I was waiting for that. That's sick. More target than Necropolis. Yep, he's got that same thing. Endless Duty. You can use command ability in your hero phase. Oh, we get a command ability. Hell yeah. Nice. Just like the olden days, a War Scroll CA. Use command ability in your hero phase. If the unit that receives command must be a friendly OBR unit until your next hero phase. So. Add one attacks characteristic of the unit's melee weapons. Until your next hero phase. Global range. No line of sight. Lasts for the whole battle round or depend, 2 turns or 1 turn or what until your next hero phase. For free. Big. God damn. Yo, I need another page. I need another page for this. Supreme Lord of the Bone Reaper Legions. Oh wait, Final Flash. Oh, I gotta... Oh. Games Workshop found me. They found the leaks. Alright, we laid low. We came back. They didn't find out. We're good. Where was I again? Oh yeah. Let's turn the music back on. They got the wrong house. And I was about to say that Final Flash is correct. It's not infinite range, it's 18. I got excited because this one says infinite range, but actually if it doesn't say, the range is 18 because he's a general. Entirely correct. Supreme Lord of the Bones. You can use the command ability in your hero phase if this unit is more than 3 from all enemy units, so... He's not in combat. This unit must receive the command. Oh, he gives it to himself. Self only. Until your next hero phase, add 1 to hit rolls for attacks made by OBR wholly within 24. And add 1 to save rolls for attacks that target friendly. Holy oof. Oof. Ugh. It's pretty good. So, wholly 24. Plus 1 to hit rolls and save rolls. And it doesn't say other friendly, so it's him too. Prime Necro lets him global issue for duty. Yeah, if you wish. Oh, that's probably why they didn't say a range. Combo, right? but only due to the default. Prime Bone lets it table range if he so chooses, which is cool. So either one thing anywhere, so it's like, hey, you guys over there, I'm only gonna be in one fight. Wait, how long does this last? This is until your next hero phase as well? God damn. That's good. So yeah, both of these are 100% uptime if you wish. If you want it. So if you're only going to get into one fight, if you're confident you're only going to get into one fight this battle round, or one really important fight far away, at least on your turn, you can give this buff, which is a great buff. If there's any danger of anything around him being attacked, then you probably just bubble up and half of your army is fucking amazing. Also, his base is huge, so it's 24. That's a big range. Plus one attack on Stalkers, yeah. Yo, this is the shit. So what's the problem? What's the problem with this guy? Well, he's not a wizard. They couldn't find one dude on his base to be a wizard somehow. But, okay, that's like the only downside. The only downside, I guess, is he's not a wizard. As always, that's his problem. If he was even a single caster with no bonuses, it would probably be too much, but I just want Catacross to be OP. I'm going to be transparent. He's not a monster. So that's actually important. Downsides. Not a monster. Not a wizard. Probably costs too much. Upsides. Everything else. Upsides. Everything. Downsides. I don't actually care if he's not a monster. The only real downside is not a wizard. The not a monster thing doesn't... I don't care. I actually don't care. So what do you do? 20 wounds, 3 up, which, if you wish, he sort of like is just default on a 2-up kinda, right? Just always. So he's a 20 wound 2-up, crawling around at 4, maybe 7 if you do a command, right, for the +3 move thing. Unless CA +3. Double Jenny, once a turn free. 1 unit anywhere gets -1 to hit. That's good. You target it. His once a turn steal thing is whatever. It'll never work. He has a cool role-playing ability when fighting heroes. He has the Mortark regen thing. And he has a Giga Bubble or a fuck you forever. What kind of damage does he deal? Let's figure it out. So if he's fighting just stuff, he's on... Those 2 attacks on 3s and 3s will both probably miss with 1 hit. And then he'll do like 2 damage or something from the 10 Retinue Blades. So like, if he's fighting a non-hero, he actually sucks. He'll like do maybe 4 damage or 5 if he's lucky. If he's fighting just like chodes, like whoever, if he's fighting a hero specifically, he's on like Frostlord on Stonehorn level damage, which isn't crazy, but it's pretty decent, like 16 or something. He's always +1 to hit and save. Yeah, I'm factoring that in. He can rend 1 every profile because of the thing. You are right, B. Timmy. I almost forgot about that. You are right. So when he's fighting non-heroes, he's going to do like 4 or 5, I bet. Like 4 or 5, I bet. And if he's fighting heroes, he's going to do like... let's see. Maybe like 16, 20 if he's really lucky. Like 16 or something. In other words, he's literally a Frostlord on Stonehorn. The guy who does like either 5 or sometimes 16. Except for Catacross, it's not because of random dice rolls. It's because of whom he's targeting. He's impossibly slow, which is a huge downside. And his 4-inch move with no flying, in my head, my calculations, I'm subtracting something like at least 100 points out of his cost just for that. And your opponent like doesn't want to charge him with heroes and stuff, so they're just not gonna, probably. Well, actually, they will, because it's the only way to kill him. Yeah, he's just like chilling, and he's like Bale, just pointing and stuff is happening and he's making decisions. But how much is really happening? One guy gets debuffed, he's regenning, and he has an aura. And besides that, he's just sort of like crawling forward. Regenning is worth a lot though, but everybody gets regen. Well, not everybody. Archon gets it too. Let's directly compare him to Archon. What am I getting with Archon? Not great damage, but a triple caster at +2 cast, unbind, dispel, 6-inch spell range. The same regen. 16 flying. Versus none of that, no maneuverability. 1 unit gets -1 to hit. You can fight better if it matters. 2 up 20 wounds of the 6 up. True. True. You do have to spend a precious command point to get that for Archon the Black. And it's only 14 wounds instead of 20, which is a lot different. He's the kind of guy I think I need to play against. You might just have to... Monster Matters, it kind of does. Roar is huge, right? Roar means +1 rend, you know? Which one's better? If you ignore point cost, which one's better? They might be too different, I think. One's a wicked fast, amazing spellcaster. And the other is an impossibly slow guy who does 2 things. That... You know, your opponent's just gonna have to deal with him, even though he's so slow. You just run him and 3CA him into the center of the table, and your opponent just has to fucking deal with him. They just have to, because he's there. And then he's in the center of the table on some objective with the Maw Crusher Pie Plate base, projecting a, what, 24-inch aura of my whole army is great. I think you just have to deal with that. His movement isn't going to get him anywhere, but he's just supposed to plant. Oh, is he on a Flosh base? I thought he was on the Pie Plate. He's on the one... He's on the... It's not a Frostlord one, because that's Ovular. I think he's on a Circle. I think he's worth more points than Archon. He is on the Ovular base? Okay. He's an oblong spheroid? I thought he was on a circle. Alright, well, sorry I blew up. I thought it was a circle. My bad. Obdon, yeah. I think he's worth more than Archon, but... you kind of have to build an army. I'm going to say 4... for something. I think he's like 50 points better than Archon. Yeah, 420 blaze it. What's glucose cost? Because he's like glucose except good, right? He's like giga glucose. What's glucose cost? I know these are way different armies. Glutos is 480. Okay. And he's way better than Glucose, but Glutos is doing a durability thing in a not durable army, so that you get, it costs more, right? Gluteus Maximus is a wizard. True. That being said, at 420, do you just take both? Is this too cheap? At 420, do you just play... You just play 2 kings? A bunch of people were saying Glutos is good now. I agree, he is good. I just think Catacross is probably better. Triple Jennies. Okay, realistically, he's probably like 500 or some shit. But I'm going to say 420 blaze it. I went aggressive on Archon. I can do the same here. 420, but I'm expecting 460. What is it? What's the cost? 440? I'm impressed. That's correct. I think that's correct. That's pretty close to... I'm surprised. I'm on a roll. No, Games Workshop is on a roll. This is the kind of war scroll that in the past, Games Workshop would have just said 540. Just straight, like 540, 560. And then you're looking at the war scroll and you're like, he's badass, but what does he actually do? Not 500 worth of stuff, right? What happened here? For these points to be so seemingly on, at least on first reaction. What the fuck happened here? This is... What's the word for when you're chained to the past? Where you just keep doing something because it used to be that way, and it's not correct, but you just... The only reason you're doing it is because it used to be... I think that's Nagash points. It's in the 900s because it's always been in the 900s, I think. But anyway. He's locked into the Legion, so there's that. Which is a downside. Being locked into the Legion, I think, makes him worth fewer points. I look forward for them to -20 so he can be the 420. This guy's sick. And he's got like fun role-playing abilities and shit. Where we're LARPing Catacross, that's fun. I'm taking both. It'll probably be correct to play some Foot Wizard or something, or some Foot Heroes. And Archon the Black, but I like 2 kings. Yeah, it used to require his Legion, and now it doesn't, which is badass. Bachmortian is funny and kind of goose. Alright. Alright, Cock Martian. Master of the Bone Tithe. Alright, I'm gonna be right back. I'm getting a drink. This is gonna be like a stupendously long show, so